The school day is actually kind of boring instead. Everyone around me looks so real yet acts slightly off, almost like they're scripted. I can't be sure though, since I see everything here as a game. What's more, I think the teacher is speaking another language, yet for some reason I can understand it. It seems to be a variation of Japanese. So there is an upside to all of this. Who needs to study for years to be fluent in a language when you can just have your brain hijacked Matrix style? At any rate, the lesson is pretty basic history, but it seems to gloss over some of the finer details. Not sure if that's the teacher's omission or a byproduct of the code. After I pack up my, or rather MC's, things, I stare blankly at the wall, contemplating everything that's happened thus far. Mr. X. I still don't know if I completely trust him, but at the same time, he does hold all the cards. If only I had some kind of leverage. It was about this time that a familiar voice jolts me out of my stupor.
Hello?
Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom.
I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed.
Ah, yeah, sorry. I guess the lack of caffeine today is really hitting hard. Oh, I remember now that she wants to ask me about joining the club. I suppose I could humor her. Are you here to make sure I go check out some clubs?
Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know.
No what?
Oh, but you could come to my club. Yeah?
I mean, I could really use a nap. Is there a napping club?
Maybe.
You've said that twice. No, thrice already today.
Well, it's true.
Sayori looks at me dejectedly, though I can tell it's mostly for show, and I do see the faintest smirk playing at the corner of her mouth. To her credit, she has the sad puppy dog eyes down. Must resist. Yeah, I'm going to take a nap.
Come on, please.
Am I to assume you want me to join a specific club? One that is of the literature variety? She shifts uncomfortably and giggles a little.
Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member, and Natsuki made cupcakes and everything.
Oh, well, if there's going to be cupcakes. For now, at least, I have to make sure she thinks this was her idea. I mean, technically it was and is, but still, I feel like a spy or a double agent. I make a sarcastically long sigh. Fine, but at least some of those cupcakes better be chocolate.
Yes, let's go.
And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. Sort of. Maybe kind of literally. I'm still not sure how all this virtual mindscape thing works. I follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I know all too well, at least from a certain perspective. It's odd seeing it from the other side. As we walk by other classrooms, I can see some of them have people inside, presumably doing club activities. There's one that has a podium with several students engaged in a passionate debate over geopolitics. That's either the debate club or some sort of student UN council thing. In another room, I can see there are a bunch of art easels set up, likely for an art club of some sort, but there only seems to be one person in there perched on the window ledge. She has the wildest red hair, sort of short like a boy's haircut, and although I only caught a brief glimpse as we walked by, it appeared she was eating a sandwich. With her feet? That's interesting. At any rate, we've now come to a room that will always be etched into my memory. Sayori swings open the classroom door. I am not concerned.
Everyone, the new member is here.
Well, what the hell was that? What just happened? Apparently nobody else seems to notice that the room just suddenly glitched out.
Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you.
I try to recompose myself as best as I can from what I can only describe as a PTSD flashback. Could Monica still somehow have access to the code? Normally I'd be desensitized to this sort of thing, but experiencing it firsthand is an entirely different and creepy experience. I shake off the concern for now. I'll have to worry about that later.
Seriously? You brought a boy? Why? Yeah, why do we need one here?
I raise an eyebrow at Natsuki.
Ah, Hallie, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club.
I haven't had much time to think about it, but what if Monica knows it's not really me? Or worse, she becomes obsessive again. Is she self-aware? I can't get the images out of my mind of the things she did, and yet I don't know that I could entirely blame her given my circumstances, or her circumstances. I also don't exactly know if there would be a discreet way to gauge her sentience or not without giving myself away.
What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it.
Sorry. Apparently I was so deep in thought that I was staring blankly at the group. I quickly recompose myself and try not to make eye contact with Monica. It's been a long day.
Natsuki.
Natsuki really is the epitome of tsundere, though if I'm being honest with myself, I really like that about her. I know that's not really shocking since the archetype exists for a reason, but to actually experience it in a way that is endearing rather than off-putting is nice. I'm also kind of surprised that her small stature was not exaggerated. She is several inches shorter than I am, and I'm pretty average for my age. It's a pretty stark contrast to Yuri, who is actually a couple of inches taller than me. It's even more noticeable when the two are standing next to each other.
You can just ignore her when she gets moody.
Yuri says that quietly into my ear, then turns back toward the other girls.
Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that.
Yuri bashfully fidgets with her hair as she says this. My eyes immediately go to the two things that have been on my mind the most since first seeing her. Her arms. Knowing that she's concealing something like that makes me feel terrible, like as if I had read her diary and invaded her privacy. Well, it's nice to meet both of you.
And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Hallie.
You too, Monica. I try desperately to hide the anxiety in my voice.
Come sit down, Hallie. We made room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited.
Since you're doing that, Yuri, do you need any help getting the tea set out, or... My blood freezes and the color from my face drains. Yuri and Monica look at me, puzzled. I'm an idiot. Yuri hasn't mentioned anything about her tea yet. I got so into what we were doing, I wasn't paying attention. I'm not supposed to know that yet. I glance over at Monica, who is giving me a bewildered look, but there's definitely a hint of concern and curiosity in her eyes as well.
How did you know that Yuri keeps a tea set in the classroom, Hallie?
I take a deep breath, steady myself, and say the first thing that comes to mind. No, I just figured based on this being a literature club and having snacks, tea seemed like the most logical choice. It was a lucky guess. Based on their reactions, this seems to be a plausible answer, but I can tell Monica isn't quite buying it. Although I'm still not entirely sure if she's still self-aware, judging by her reactions. I'm starting to suspect she might be. She looks like she's about to ask me something when she's interrupted by Yuri.
You're a very astute observer, Hallie. Yes, I do keep a tea set in the classroom. Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book?
I guess that's true. Plus it goes well with cupcakes. She smiles gently while Natsuki rolls her eyes.
Then how about I make that tea?
The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there is one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room, where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand.
Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Oh!
Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. This is going to be an interesting experience. Eating something for the first time in this world, I wonder if they taste as good as they look.
So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one.
Sayori grabs one first, then Monica. I take one as well.
It's delicious!
Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, admiring the realism, how it feels, looks, even smells. I start looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki stays quiet, and judging by her darting glances in my direction, it's because she's waiting to see what the new guy thinks. I decide against toying with her for now and take a bite. This is amazing. There's actually taste, and what's more, it's fantastic. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I'd expect nothing less from her. Wow, this is really good. Thank you, Natsuki.
Why are you thanking me? It's not like I
Haven't I heard this summer before?
made them for you or anything. And don't sound so surprised. I'll have you know that when it comes to baking, nobody else even comes close.
Oh, my bad. I just assumed they were made for the new...
Well, maybe. But not for, you dummy.
Alright. I'm going to have to try and refrain from teasing her. She's just too easy. Yuri returns to the table, carrying her tea set. My heart sinks a little when I see it, because it reminds me of my slip-up earlier. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. The ceramic cup is white with a gold trim and a mauve-colored flower printed on the side. The design really seems to complement Yuri's style. This tea set is beautiful. I like the floral print design on the cups. What kind of flowers are those?
They're lilacs, my favorite.
Ah, interesting.
Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not...
Insulted, Yuri looks away. I can't help but smile a little seeing her get flustered like that.
I meant that, when I was growing up, every spring these lilac bushes in our front yard would bloom and produce the most wonderfully fragrant scents. My mother planted them when I was born, so they remind me a lot of her.
Actually, come to think of it, I don't recall ever hearing much about her parents, or anyone's parents aside from Natsuki's dad in the original game. This is definitely new, and by the looks of it, Monica thinks so as well. At any rate, I should keep things moving. I believe you. Well, I may not be as well versed in reading as the rest of you, but I at least enjoy tea.
I'm glad.
Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me.
So, what made you consider the literature club?
I was afraid of this question. I don't recall offhand what my character said in the vanilla version, but I can't just say something that would tip my hand. And something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by some mysterious voice. Then again, having an ally could be an asset, provided she's willing to cooperate. What's more, even if she did know, she would or shouldn't have the capability of messing with the game anymore, right? She might even be able to help me, or she could be this mysterious Mr. X for all I know. This is, of course, assuming at all that she's self-aware. I could test that theory. I need to think fast. Should I say something that would let her know what I know? Yeah, do it. I decide that I should give her some kind of sign. She doesn't have her abilities anymore, and she's already suspicious. Lying to her won't help anything. Besides, telling her the truth might help me gain her trust. It was mostly Sayori pushing me to join a club. Truthfully, I don't really get out that much, and felt kind of trapped just being cooped up in my house all day. Going through the same thing every day, it just felt so scripted, Not exactly subtle, but I suspect it was enough to get her attention. I start to feel a bit of embarrassment having just admitted that I've been acting like a neat lately and being lonely. True to my character, I suppose. Monica looks at me both knowingly and thoughtfully, which after a moment of contemplating what to say, speaks up.
That's okay. Don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone.
Thanks, Monica. I could use all the help I can get. Monica winks at me. I guess neither of us are being really subtle, but thankfully the others don't seem to notice. So, what made you decide to start the literature club? Weren't you in the debate club?
That's true, I was. Though if I'm being honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events.
Rather ironic, isn't it?
How so?
I just mean with the debate club and arguing and... Never mind. Monica laughs.
No, you're right. I suppose that's another reason why I left the debate team. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader.
Yuri also nods in agreement. You have quite the fan club, it seems. I can see why people would like this club. It feels kind of cozy. Monica smiles while Natsuki scoffs.
Yeah, right. You probably like this club because it's all girls.
I nearly choke on my tea. No, that's not it at all. Seriously, I like the atmosphere. It's kind of quiet and peaceful, which is perfect for a literature club. Yuri seems to agree as she nods silently with a small smile. Natsuki just rolls her eyes and goes back to concentrating on freeing a cupcake from its foil wrap. Or foil cup. It is foil cup. At any rate, I'm sure it wasn't easy to start a club from the ground up.
You can put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile.
I can't help but feel like she might be talking about something else as well.
But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah. I'll do our best. You know it.
Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Their enthusiasm is infectious, but does the festival really matter? I know Mr. X said to just proceed as usual through the game, but I also have flashbacks of the events that happened during the festival. I really don't want a repeat of any of that.
So, Hallie, what kinds of things do you like to read?
Well, I like all kinds of genres, to be honest. Horror, fantasy, science fiction, be it media or manga. I say that last part a little more quietly and half-jokingly. I just wanted to see Natsuki's reaction. As expected, Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet.
Oh wow, I never knew Sayori's friend would be quite the literary connoisseur.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone has ever called me that in my entire life. I try not to let show the fact that I'm blushing by trying to quickly switch gears. Anyway, what about you, Yuri?
Well, let's see.
Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger.
My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive.
Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She is every bit as reserved and timid as I figured she'd be, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. At least, books never judge you.
But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately.
Ah yeah, horror books are great. I shift uncomfortably in my chair. I'm still a little anxious from my visit with Mr. X and with whatever glitch happened when I entered the club room.
Yuri is probably the most well read out of all of us here. I wouldn't go that far, Monica. But it is true that when I'm reading, at times I find it difficult to put what I'm reading down. Horror and fantasy are often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment.
I hate horror.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I just...
Natsuki's eyes throwed over to me for a split second.
Never mind.
That's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki?
I can't help but smirk a little.
What? What gives you that idea?
You dropped one of your poems after leaving the club our last meeting. It looked like it was called The Kitten and the Turtle.
Don't say it out loud. And give that back.
Fine, fine. Your cupcakes, your poems. Everything you do is just as cute as you are.
Sayori tries to maneuver behind Natsuki for a sneak attack, but Natsuki dodges it, much to Sayori's surprise and dismay.
Too slow. And also, I'm not cute.
Natsuki, you write your own poems.
Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care?
I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime?
No!
Natsuki averts her eyes.
You wouldn't like them.
Oh, I think I would. I actually really like poetry. The girls look at me as if I have bugs crawling out of my mouth. What, guys can't like poetry too?
I must say, you continue to surprise us, Hallie.
I think I hear a faint coming from Monika's direction.
Though I understand how Natsuki feels, sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Yuri, if I'm not mistaken, you have some writing experience yourself, don't you? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers.
I'm guessing that's a thanks but no thanks from Yuri.
Oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems.
Monika and I both look at each other simultaneously, as if on cue, knowing what's supposed to come next. What's supposed to come next.
Okay, I have an idea, everyone.
Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika.
Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Hallie?
I mean, I was going to point out that I haven't technically agreed to join the club yet, but I lose my train of thought. 3 of the 4 girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. Monika just looks at me with a raised eyebrow.
Are you sure? I'm sorry, I thought.
Holly.
Oh, wow. I don't know why I bothered. It's not like I wasn't going to join anyway, but how could anyone say no to this? Guess I might as well just be done with it. I said but, didn't I? I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up.
Yes, I'm so happy.
Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey!
You really did scare me for a moment.
If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed.
Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club.
Ah, thanks, I guess.
Oh, I know how we can commemorate this event.
Monika disappears for a moment into the back supply closet before re-emerging with what looks like 5 small notebooks.
Okay, everyone. I've decided that we should each have our own special notebooks for poem writing.
Will it be okay to just take these?
It's perfectly fine. I'll deal with the faculty if there are any issues. As far as I see it, this is for official club business. In fact...
She quickly opens each one at her desk and scribbles something down at the bottom that reads, Official Literature Club Member Notebook.
And lastly...
She hands everyone their notebooks.
We should each write something in each other's notebook, as inspiration for one another as well as a memento.
Really? Is that necessary?
Oh, come on, Natsuki. It'll be fun, and it'll only take a few minutes.
Ugh.
Soon after everyone has left their remarks, Monika closes her notebook.
I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share.
Monika looks over at me once more.
Hallie, I Just seeing how you express yourself.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm not sure who I should spend more time with. I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food.
Hey, Holly, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together?
That's right, Sayori typically wants to walk home with the player character after club meetings. On the other hand, Monica looks like she might want to talk to me. Should I walk home with Sayori or talk to Monica? You know, I was considering just going with like a Yuri route because we just got done with Encore, and you know, doing the dissatisfying stuff first was kind of a bummer. But I think we should do a Monica route this time, since it's like basically going to be as new as possible. Anyway, I decided it might be best to just get this out of the way first. Sayori should be alright for now, and I must admit I'm curious about Monica's awareness. Actually, if you don't mind, I'd like to catch up with Monica real quick, but I promise you and I will start walking to school and back together starting tomorrow. Sayori looks at me with a somewhat disappointed expression for a moment, but quickly shifts back to her trademark smile.
That's okay, Holly. I look forward to it. See you guys later.
She heads out of the classroom with a wave, making Monica and I the only ones left in the classroom.